What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for the Manchester City transfer update. We have got a lot of information to get through, latest news too. We've also got a big exclusive on Frenkie De Jong, so we're going to crack on with this video. Before we get on with the ins and outs of Manchester City, we've had a little bit of a reporting of a transfer ban. Now, the Times have been reporting that Manchester City are being investigated for paying some families of youth players six-figure sums, and FIFA and the Premier League are investigating this, according to the Times. I'm fully aware that Manchester City were paying for youngsters to go through education and their accommodation at Manchester City's academy, and they were paying for families to come over and stay with their children, as you would expect. I wasn't aware that Manchester City were actually paying the families for them to be here and money going into their bank account. So yeah, that has been investigated, but that's not the end of it. The Times also reported that Manchester City are also facing allegations that 8 of our under-18 signings, I don't know which 8, it's not named them, but 8 of our under-18 signings are being investigated too, and this could lead to a year-long transfer ban. Now, it all sounds very doom and gloom, and it sounds quite scary and frightening. However, Manchester City's squad is quite complete, and I imagine with 1 or 2 more additions over the next window or two, Manchester City's squad's pretty much set, and there won't be any need for improvement unless Manchester City decide to sell. And if we do get a year-long transfer ban, Manchester City won't be selling any players, so it's not too much of a concern. Our squad is as strong as what it could be. Obviously, if any quality becomes available, we won't be able to sign any quality for a year. But I'd say, in terms of teams around Europe, we're one of the lucky few that don't really, when it comes to it, need many signings, if any signings at all. And a year-long transfer ban isn't as bad as, say, if there's to make it 2-3 years. So yeah, that's a positive spin, I suppose, of looking at it. But yeah, not good. We're facing some allegations and things. Yeah, so we're going to move on to the ins anyway. So Manchester City back to January of next year, 2019, and according to the Evening Standard, Manchester City, they're monitoring Tanguy and Ndombele. We're tracking Ruben Nevers too, and we're also, as we know, tracking Frenkie De Jong too. And we're looking at them in January, and if we don't get anyone in January, we're also going to be looking in the summer at these players too. I'm just wondering, with Pep coming out and saying he only wants 1 more signing over the next 2 transfer windows, so January and the summer, I'm a little bit concerned over Benjamin Mendy's injury and the fact that Manchester City will be looking to more than likely sell Alexander Zinchenko. Leaves us with Benjamin Mendy carries on with his track record of injuries that he's had over the last year with Manchester City. He's not even played 20 games, I don't think, for Manchester City yet, over a year and a half. We're left with just Fabian Delph, so I feel like a left back might well be needed too, but we'll see. Next up, Mundo Deportivo, they're from Spain. They've been talking about Frenkie De Jong, and they're saying that Manchester City have been scouting Matthias de Ligt and Frenkie De Jong during the Netherlands game with France last week. PSG, Barcelona and Manchester City, they're interested. Lots of competition from there. The Sunday People have elaborated on this and said that Manchester City have blown everyone out of the water. They're closing in on Frenkie De Jong, £61 million. Barcelona and Tottenham Hotspur, who are interested, they've been blown out the water by it. They're going, we're not going to pay that, and it sets Manchester City as favourites to sign in Frenkie De Jong, as these clubs aren't going to match Manchester City's spending power, and they believe that he may well be heading to the Etihad. Then De Jong's agent has come out, he's spoken about this, and he said he won't confirm or deny that De Jong's in contact with Manchester City, that he'll be joining Manchester City. He said, go and speak to the director in charge of Ajax and in charge of transfers, which is Mark Overmars, former Arsenal player. Then Sport, they've chipped in their opinion. They've said that Real Madrid, they're reporting Real Madrid are interested in Frenkie De Jong. However, it's a very late deal for them to go and scamper in. Barcelona and Manchester City are miles ahead of them in terms of negotiation and talking to Ajax and talking to the agent and talking to the player. They've got a lot of catching up to do. Is it too little too late for Real Madrid? And Ajax, according to the Mirror, are absolutely delighted that Real Madrid, Barcelona, Manchester City, Tottenham Hotspur, etc., etc., are all interested in Frenkie De Jong, because apparently this £61 million that Manchester City apparently were going to sign him for has magically overnight been upped to £75 million. I'm sensing a little bit of fake news. What do we believe? I have no idea. I have a feeling, though, this is our new Jorginho deal for January. Hopefully this one might go a little bit better, but with competition coming from Barcelona, from Real Madrid, we've got elite teams here that have got a lot of spending power, they've got a lot of influence. We will see. Manchester City, obviously, going to have some backups, and it's nice to see from the previous report, and Ndombele, Ruben Nevers, etc., etc., that we are and do have options available. And also we'll keep our options open, that we don't limit ourselves just to needing to sign players in just January, but the summer too. Next up, Manchester City, they've completed the signing of a player. They've signed Darko Gyabi. He's from Millwall, £300,000, which can rise to £1 million, maybe even more. England youth international central midfielder, 14 years old. That's how young they're signing him these days. And he apparently has been compared with Paul Pogba. Next up, Mundo Deportivo. Again, they've been reporting Manchester City. They're interested in Isco after he fell out with Real Madrid. Yeah. Spanish sources, they've been saying that Chelsea and Manchester City, they've got offers in place for Isco in the summer. We get linked with Isco every single window. Next. Mail on Sunday, they've been reporting at Atletico Mineiro, is that how you say their name, the Brazilian club, 18-year-old attacking midfielder Bruno Roberto. He will head to England just like Gabby Jesus did, and Manchester City are apparently interested in this wonder kid. I hate that terminology, but that's their words that they've used, not mine. So yeah, next up was linked last week with Sandro Tonali, was linked with the 18-year-old next Pirlo, the central midfielder. Monaco's been linked too. Apparently, though, he's come out and said that if he is to leave, he will only leave for another Italian club. Roma and Juventus are interested. So that is that, in my opinion. If we have any more developments on that and Man City make an offer, then obviously we'll report on that. But it looks likely that he's going to stay in Italy rather than coming out of Italy. So there we go. Manchester City now have been linked with 17-year-old Colombian midfielder Andreas Amaya. He plays for Atletico Huila, is that how you say their name? But yeah, apparently he's going to cost £2.7 million. That's according to TMW, the Italian source. Why they're reporting on Colombian internationals joining an English side, I'm not too sure. Maybe they're an international company. I don't know a lot about TMW, but if you believe them, then maybe we're signing more young players for our academy that may well get first team football eventually. And last but not least, in the ins, Brazilian sources have been saying that Pep is a big fan of Everton Suarez, the Brazilian, and Amir Ostreicher, the 22-year-old. He's delighted that Manchester City and Pep Guardiola are interested in him. No offer has been made as of yet, though we'll keep an eye on that one. And Man City scouting for another striker? I don't think so. I think it's just pushing things out there for things to talk about, which is good for me. Now we'll move on to the outs, and Eloquent Mangala, he's been linked with Inter Milan according to Tuttosport over in Italy. Now Mangala, he's out of contract in the summer. Now according to Tuttosport, Mangala is interested in a move to Inter Milan. I'm just wondering, that obviously this is a free contract deal, so he's free to talk with teams in January about joining them in the summer for a free contract. I'm just wondering if Manchester City are going to look to sell, or they're going to use Mangala for things like the League Cup semi-final if we end up getting there, and the FA Cup. Are they going to register him for the Premier League? Everything he's fit to go. They're going to loan him. What they're going to do? Surely it'd make sense for them to look for permanent transfer here to try and make a little bit of money. The last chance to make some money on Mangala, you would think. Now next up, teams in the Netherlands and Germany, they've been keeping an eye on Manchester City youngster Carlo Poveda. Now, he's meant to have a bright future. That's all I know about him, and he's 18 years old. That's been reported from The Sun. It doesn't say if it's a loan or a permanent deal. I presume if it's in a national newspaper in England and it's getting reported on, then I presume this is going to be a permanent transfer. So Man City's set to lose another young player to Germany. They may well go to the Netherlands too. And last but not least, speaking of The Sun has also been reporting that Nicolas Otamendi, although very happy in Manchester and at Manchester City, he's apparently been having words with Pep Guardiola about more minutes amid interest from Barcelona and Real Madrid in the 30-year-old centre-back. Now, John Stones and Aymeric Laporte have been absolutely fantastic for Manchester City this season, that he struggled to get in. Otamendi's kind of been pushed back the pecking order. He's like third choice, fourth choice, possibly even behind Vincent Kompany too. That's why his minutes have been restricted. You feel if anyone picks up an injury as we go through December and into January, these are very challenging months, he'll start to get more minutes. And if we do end up getting an injury to anyone and he ends up getting more minutes, his case will get dropped. But as it is, he's getting linked with Barcelona and Real Madrid. And last but not least, we're going to move on speaking of Real Madrid, we're going to move on to our contracts and an outgoing too. Now, according to AS, Brahim Diaz is set to turn down a new deal at Manchester City. We all know it's coming. We do. It's going to come. He's going to turn down a new deal at Manchester City. Real Madrid want him. I'm almost certain that he will go to Real Madrid. I'm just wondering if Manchester City are going to sell him. If he doesn't want to be here, why do we want him in around our squad from January when we've got a chance to sell him before he is out of contract in the summer, like with Mangala? I'm not too sure if we're going to get any compensation. He is a young player at Manchester City. We might get a little bit of compensation. However, I feel like we could maybe make a little bit more money if we wanted to sell him, and it also gives an opportunity for other clubs, not just Real Madrid. A lot of teams will be scared off that Real Madrid are going to offer a contract to him. However, teams might be thinking that they might be able to sign him if they offer money to Manchester City to sign him, because Real Madrid might not be prepared to pay any money for him. They want him only on a free contract. I don't know. But AS, they've been reporting that Brahim Diaz will have pre-season with Real Madrid, and from there they'll make a decision on how he does as to whether he will be like Marco Asensio and get called up to their first team squad and have first team minutes throughout the season because he's good enough, or if he's not yet at that level that they want him to be at, that they will loan him to another La Liga side for a season and see how he does. But yeah, there we go. He's been compared to Marco Asensio. But there we go. That's been the Manchester City latest transfer news. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'm particularly interested in what you think about this saga developing with Frenkie De Jong. Do you think Manchester City are going to sign him? Do you think he'll go to Barcelona? Do you think it'll happen in January, in the summer? Will he stay at Ajax? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But there we go. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a big thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe and put your push notifications on. We're aiming for 2k subs before the year's out. We're so close to 1,750, so it would be ace from the end of this video that we could hit that. That would be absolutely awesome. Don't forget to also check out my social media links, Twitter and Instagram, in the description below. If you want to go and check me out, follow me on there, then you can do. I'll keep you up to date with all things happening with Manchester City and transfer news. Don't forget to also go and check out my email if you want to hit me with any sponsorships or any business enquiries, then you can do. That's in the description below if you want to go and check that out. You can go and check out my second channel, Jason Sidlow Travel Man, and my brother's partner channel, Mixed Do Mixology Drinks. I'll leave the links up to them at the end of the video if you want to go and check them out. Like and subscribe over there, like and subscribe over here. Don't forget to share this video, help my channel grow, and I'll see you all again on Friday as we're finally rid of this international break, and we've got 3 or 4 months now of Manchester City content coming. We've got daily transfer videos for Manchester City coming throughout January too, so stay tuned for that. So it's been JSGC. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace. Ciao for now.